Hello folks and welcome back. In the previous episode we were playing with the Ifrit Exorcist and we successfully completed our run and let's see what we can do today. We have 100 tokens. We can unlock a new class or we can unlock a new race. Or we can play with one of our existing characters and maybe try something different today. So let's take our Undine Shadow into Conquest. Why not? The game will restart shortly, and once it does, use your resume slot to play as the Reborn character. Got it. So click on your resume slot, and here we are. In Lanmeric we are level 6, so all this stuff here should be doable. You can explore your current area by clicking on this button here. There are some shortcuts you might want to check, like C will show and hide your character sheet, B will show your deck builder, and what else? Me will show and hide the exploration options, also can return you back to the map, and T you can use to enter and leave the current town. So you can access the town at any moment you want, as long as you aren't in an exploration. And green means that these are very easy areas for our character. White might be a bit of a challenge, and if we check in a different area, red means likely you will die. Okay, so deck builder. I don't remember what I was playing with this character, so let's switch to the deck view. And we had some witches, sneak attacks, plenty of them, wets and splashes. Okay. So the challenges won't be much of a challenge since we came in at a higher level. So let's do quickly the green challenges and then try the white. And challenges will give you a nice amount of tokens. So let's explore. There are 3 nodes that we need to defeat. As you can see, there are several enemies, and you can always scroll if there are more enemies, and you can see here that there are 6 enemies and you can only see the first 5, so if you want to target this guy you can just do this. You will also notice that here we are playing with something called core node rules. So we are an aquatic race, which means that when you are near an aquatic environment and this gambling den is near a sea apparently, we start the turn with -1 fatigue, so all our actions cost 1 less. But when we are in an arid environment like a desert, that's not so good for us. So let's see what will happen if we were in an arid environment. Coastal node -1 fatigue, and while in arid environments we start the node at +1 fatigue. So while exploring deserts, your Undine will have a harder time. With enemies around, clicking this arrow button will show you the reminder of the rules. And here we also have a version in Earth and Fire. So Earth and Fire damage dealing actions will deal -3 less, and water and air will deal 3 more. And this will change in its node. So this Goblin 10 is in a coastal environment, and thus we are having a blast. Okay, let's start this one. Devil Bones. I can move this one in the front. Daggers. Multicast it to those two. As you can see, we also have this penalty in concealment. That's why it's red. Why? It's because it's daytime, and if you notice, it will say it when we advance node. Okay. Anyway, now that it's daytime, so we have this concealment penalty. Sneak attack. Let's sneak attack on this last hit. We'll get concealment. Now we can use our blade in the sleeve. Kill this guy. And only the crew gunslinger left. Overall, nothing to worry about here. That quest is doable while you are level 1. Maybe 2, if you are starting out. So being here at level 6 makes it extremely easy. Okay, only one left. You will notice that you also barely gain XP for these small fry enemies. Okay, and the boss. The boss is Ivan the Quick, and he's much lower level than us, so again, not much of a problem. Sneak attack, greed, we can one-shot him with this card probably. 6, he's dead. Concealment, sneak attack. Okay, so this is a very easy challenge. We done it because we are level 6 and we can pick a reward which is not necessarily from our own disciplines, but everything goes here. So this card, for example, is a demon card, and as long as we claim it, we also unlock it, which is an alternative way of unlocking cards. Return to the world, and let's go for way which will be more challenging. Again, we are in a coastal area, so to our benefit. Here we will fight with some tougher enemies. Let's start this one. We don't have any consumables. So you will notice that enemies are a bit tougher here in Conquest, at least much tougher than they would be in normal, for example. Sneak attack. We got a new level. We gained melt in shadows and we also got narrate. So what does it do? The multicasted bewitch that destroys non-undead and can mutate into drown. Drown is quite deadly. So let's open the deck builder, add 2 narrates in our deck. We can also switch to more advanced actions if we want. But the point of having ley lines is that eventually you will have to collect cards and adapt your deck to something better. Or something more suitable, not necessarily better. Let's get an embodiment of water. And you will notice that as we complete challenges, we are also gaining perk points. So you can go for all the crazy builds you couldn't do while playing in the normal or Iron Man even. Skulk, let's add the damage right here. We are concealed. Stun him so he won't heal. Okay, and put this one first to die first from the bleeding. We don't want one of their allies to benefactor heal it. So take down. Stun. Okay, let's get the concealment, backstab this guy, we stun this one. So as you can see, it's pretty easy when the challenges are green. We can trigger it. Okay, so we have the boss here and we are not concealed. Let's play the narrate and we can do whatever we want to her because she's lower level than us. We can stand here, for example, no? Resist it. Okay. Entangled. So Dive will now return with a sneak attack, which we can use and kill her. And you notice we don't get any tokens or anything at this point. We will get our reward when we complete the stage. We can take it. And that's it. Okay, so we got 4 tokens, 4 mastery, 45 perk points, farthings, and we can pick a new card. So why not pick the gambling parlor? We can lay low if it's Night Wicked sneak attack, and we can gamble, or we can get the Center Scout. I will get the gambling parlor and add it to my stash and return to the world map. And Count Roderick is now also green. Let's do this challenge quickly and then I will show you how to travel to a more challenging area. Still coastal, our aquatic race here is a great help. Let's use the Devil Bones in our Coven Witch. Summon the power of water. Add some damage to your deluge. Okay, that was... since we have concealment, we can just kill here with the Shadow Shift. Desecrate. This is not... we don't know if she's immune to sneak attack, probably she's a vampire after all. Sneak attack fails, yes. Let's use Devil Bones. Triple that. So we are generating 10 action points per turn, but looks like we are spending them much faster. And considering we already have a fatigue -1 from our racial bonus, that's not a good thing. Unity sneak attack. Fledglings aren't quite vampires yet, so this one is not immune to sneak attack. And this is a human. So Desecrate will heal them while it will hurt me, since I'm not wicked. Draw a mutated to, what was it? Narrate song, mutated into draw. Let's use devil bones in our bolas. You will also notice that we have quite a lot hit points, and that's because we are getting a bonus in the mode we are in, Conquest, because it's you get to fight with more enemies, so things are overall harder, especially if you started at level 1 and fight equally strong enemies, rather than what we are doing at the moment. So reinforcements arrived, and Conquest has punishing reinforcements, meaning that if you delay too much, take too much turns, then the new reinforcements waves will be progressively stronger than before. Let's apply vulnerable. Apply status can apply effects even when the enemy is immune or okay, so he still won't die. Let's stun this. So tackle this guy. So better kill the crypt crawler now, otherwise we will be facing reinforcements, and we don't want that. And if you find the challenge too hard, you can always abandon and return back. I will use the camp function to restore some action points. Let's use devil bones, punching trigger. Shadow Shift will give us concealment if we don't have any, so we can sneak attack this one. He's immune to immobilized. Okay, what do we have equipment? We have a Mirkanar war drum. We have a silver mace. but we don't have anything that can solve our action points problem. Let's wait. Triple. Let's adjust vulnerable. He's immune to sneak attack, but that was still a nice amount of damage. Devil Bones. Let's try to. He's immune to immobilize. No, he resisted it. Okay, and the boss here is Count Roderick, which is also equal level to us, so he won't pose much of a problem. But remember, we are playing with a sneak attack focus, so that might not be ideal in this case. We can immobilize him. So as you can see, green challenges are quite easy. It's down here too. Deluge. When the enemy is stunned, they won't fight back. So Count Roderick died. Let's apply some vulnerable. Knapsack here. And that's it. So we got 5 more tokens and 5 mastery. So an alternative way of gaining mastery, unlocking cards and in my opinion having fun is to try out the adventure mode. So let's move to a more challenging area, and in order to travel we can pick from our active location the destination we want to go. So for example, we can go to Greisbock, and here in the travel stage we will have to pass through the Greisbock forest. So make sure that the area you are traveling is green or white, for example. So as you can see, most of these areas are easy, and we can make our way to Lucina, and then maybe we can go to Oakstead and maybe Roverford, or no, you can go anywhere you can travel. Let's travel to Lucina, for example. It will take 3 days and 1 ration, so let's buy rations. Provisions. We can also get some consumables since we are completely empty. we can get an elixir of tenacity. We can check the armors and accessories here for something that can solve our action points problem. And you will notice that the time doesn't advance. In this mode you can peruse the stores as long as you like and build exactly the character you like, explore exactly the characters you want, and still you will find that you die a lot, especially if you go to areas that are a bit challenging and not stick to the safe path. Okay, so explore, travel to Lucina. 3 nodes and we are there. That's fast. Okay, let's use an unholy strike here. Notice also that our allies are affected by the current node, and we have night cover. Concealment effects are plus 5%, 35% chance to get ambushed, aversion to dark air and poison, and affinity to light, earth and astral. So she's astral and thus her stats are stronger because of this astral affinity right here. So let's multicast this. Start the lycanthrope. We run out of action points. Let's use Devil Bones, right click here. The morale ability will go to the next surviving enemy if there is one. Otherwise it will hit your character, so something to keep in mind. Okay, sneak attack and triple, but all we did was to remove the immobilized counter. We can at least close him. And that's it. So, despite that the area completion rewards are of all disciplines, when you meet opportunities to learn things, or when you open grimoires, chests, etc., are all cards from your archetype. So only the rewards by completing areas will be diverse. Also, I want to show you that now that we are not in combat, this button changes to exploration options, and you can explore the node further, camp, prepare for the next node, etc. So let's continue and I will show you what we mean shortly. We arrived in Lucina, we got some more tokens and some more mastery, and here we can do the Edith challenge. And if you go to other areas, you will notice that each one has a different leyline affinity and a different leyline aversion, and also different rewards you can earn across the entire card set of the game. So you can build very interesting decks and fight very interesting bosses. So let's do the Edith challenge, which should be quite easy. And maybe get one of these cards. Let's get another one. We can have 3 allies into play, but we earned lots of perk points during our challenges, and we can get leadership with heroic tendency. And this will let us have 4 allies, so let's pick one. Stun this one. Bones.
I summon the power of water.
Okay, so let's see what this button does now that there are no enemies around. You can camp, but you will have to spend rations. You can abandon the exploration or continue. And if we had action points, you'd see that there was some more interesting options there as well. Let's use Siren Song. It will destroy non-undead with hit points less than 12. So maybe start with no, I'll just put the toughest enemies in the front. Maybe this, like so. These 3. We bewitched the first 2. Stun the rest. Okay, so bewitch will target an ally, or it will harm themselves. Good concealment, and we can kill this one as well. Okay, and the boss here is Edith. Again, Edith is level 9, so we have the potential just about right to affect her. And with this, we can stun her, for example. She's not immune to sneak attack. So let's try to take her down. We'll go with takedown and punching dagger. Okay, we didn't take her down, but bleeding will. We don't mind the shield, bleeding will take care of her, so let's now kill her minions. Profile target 530. And we got more tokens, more perk points, more farthings, etc. And we can also pick, let's pick Prince Charming. And the toughest the boss, the better the rewards. So let's try a white one and see how it will work out. Stores are closed. We can loiter. And loiter will advance the clock, and if it advances enough, you will find that they might open. The bonuses that you see here is from your current exploration node. That doesn't mean that when you go to a different node that Death's Shrine will still have the same benefit. You will see depending if there is a water affinity or if there is a water aversion, etc. So let's buy the drone dead. And I will get a secluded cove so I can bathe in peace. Okay. So let's go to our deck builder. Add the cove and let's check not in deck. Now, so you will notice that the bandit, we found his waylay ability. To tough is now different, it will unsummon the ally and give you synergy sneak attack, not teamwork sneak attack, but teamwork grid, so it's a bit more toned down. And we have lots of cards here. So let's say that you want to tackle a boss like Count Rocks, and the affinity here is water, so fighting with water and air will be beneficial to your cause. You could go to your deck builder. Let's save our deck as former, because that will be our former deck, and empty it. And now go here and pick water. So we can add a deck that specializes more in water and get the highest possible advantage from the node. So let's say we are good from the water. Let's check what other racial classes cards we want to add. I will add the Drowned Dead. I will add Dive. I will add I think we're okay here. Organization we don't have. And class. What can we do about class? Let's add takedown so we can give sneak attacks. And maybe cloak of shadows. Okay, so we switched our deck completely, which might be or might not be a good idea. Also, I know that Count Rox is a vampire, so you could also go to the store and if you can afford, purchase stuff that might be useful against the enemy that you are fighting, like Alchemist Bomb, Silver Longsword, which you have to give to an ally and make them into knight. That's what the Lady of the Lake does. And now go and do the challenge and see if we can beat this boss, despite that here we will be facing much tougher enemies. Okay, so let's start with this guy. He wetted his pants. So target non-undead. We gain Frostbite 4. We deal 5 to 11 dark damage and 3 intense. And if the enemy dies, then we create a new drowned dead. So he has 8 vulnerable counters. He's not an undead, he's just a human. We can add our devil bones to Ulander, so he dies and he becomes a drone dead, but we get frostbite, so something to keep in mind. Instead of unable to act, the player loses 3 action points per frostbite status and 1 hit point per frostbite status. So that's not very ideal, or something that you want to over abuse. Let's put this and this. Bloodsworn is immune to freeze, and the Netherborn Horror is not immune, probably resisted it. But dispel. Okay, so as you can see, enemies are pretty tough here. Let's play a nice Nova. Devil Bones, Bolas. We can take down the fledgling with a sneak attack, or try at least. This one is stunned. Let's stun this one too. Use the bullets here. let's try to bewitch them. Stunned, bewitched, he attacks. Okay, his ally took care of him.
Oh no!
But we took too long, so reinforcements arrived. On the bright side, this is fledgling, so we can sneak attack. On the downside, we are not doing very well with action points and we are still in the first node. Let's go with entangle here. It's done. Let's go with so unfortunately we are taking too long and more reinforcements will arrive at this rate. So let's try to Unclad and tranquility. Gluttony would be enough, she will die from bleeding, so okay. Enemies died and we can see now that there are more options here. But what I want to do is restore my action points a bit. Ailments and debuffs are also removed while you are resting here. Explore can you can get some rewards or you might end up fighting. Prepare for the challenges and tap into supernatural powers can let you draw a card from your class or your race among certain choices. So let's try this one for example. We can draw one of these cards. Let's get this. We need some cheap cards. Okay, so let's bring in the secluded cove where we can have some peace and we will get unclad. We have fatigue -1 because we are in an aquatic node for the first time. So let's use unclad and devil's bones or what would be more beneficial to multicast? Probably our devil bones. this dog here. So these two guys first. Evil bones, but which won't work on them. Let's draw.
I summon the power of water.
Lady of the Lake. And now we can have this, but actually take 6 intense damage, kill. Okay, so you can imagine if this was a red area instead of white, what we will be fighting here. Let's see, this guy must be... No, he's not weak to silver. What about the dog? Neither the dog. But these vampirettes are. Okay. So let's alchemist pump this vampire. Leveling up will be nice. Let's get the silver sword and hit the other vampirette with it. I will stun this one and tangle this one and draw the venom. Let's use Unclad and I think I will need the hit points, so Devil's Bones. Level up, that was amazing, convenient, and concealment. Sneak attack. She's a fledgling, she's not a full vampire. And stun. So we got deadly poison. Stun. Let's use Devil Bones. Our dagger. And this. Okay, and if you think that you can't defeat that boss, you can always abandon the challenge. It's better than dying, of course. Let's see what's the near it good. We can get this Siren or the Knight or Octocorpia or Nereid. She has pull under. Let's see the trident. And we can also increase our hand size by getting superior intellect. So we have 218 perk points. Tranquility is nice. Let's get tranquility. And why do we don't have anything with a meditate effect? Just the Coven Wits. Okay, let's see. Nice, the Gargoyle Guardian got both sneak attack and triple. Let's stun this guy or try to.
I summon the power of water.
Maybe freeze. Maybe freeze. No, they both resisted our freeze. Anyway, without any action point restoration system in place, I think that our deck is not good enough for white areas. Immune to sneak attack. This one can be killed by sneak attack. Stun the dog. If the enemy is wet, we can freeze them, but they resist freeze. We can also use splash. Lots of vulnerable damage.
I summon the power of water.
So she will unravel and restore some action points. That's the only bright thing. I right-clicked for the ability to trigger the synergies.
Oh no!
And more reinforcements arrive. So let's see. We restore 10. What I'm doing is I will multicast in the next turn this card, if we survive, that is. So drone has a kill 1% chance, which means that there is 1% chance per missing hit point to kill the target. So let's try this on these 4 guys. We got to kill 2. We had a kill roll fail. So let's check the kill rolls. This one required 78 out of 100 or less to succeed, so it killed the courtier. This required 28 or less. Okay, it failed. 28 or less failed. 31 or less failed. But it was a good chance, and we still did damage, so pretty nice, I would say. Yeah, it's done. But he got the entanglement. Okay, feet. Oh. Take it down. It's a secluded cove. Dead bones. Okay, and I wonder if we can beat the boss or not. So he's level 13, which means that we won't be able to affect him. This is immune to Bewitch, this is not immune to Bewitch. We don't know about the Count himself, but it's not like we can affect him. So let's add Unclad to our punching dagger. Or to our narrates.
I summon the power of water.
Let's use Devil Bones with our punching dagger. He's a vampire, so he won't be, and he won't take any sneak attack damage. But triple is always quite good. We also don't have the potential to stun him. So let's put here in the front. Flank is good. Potential 11, we can't affect him. We can add another grid to our dagger, that's triple, so that's good. We can add a sneak attack, but he can't be affected by sneak attack, so let's attack him. He used regenerate. That's good for us because we can I did that so our grid is at as much as possible. I will use the devil's bones in my dagger and hit him for 25, 3 times that's 75. So he's dead. And let's attempt a kill hit for her. Okay, that's good. Okay, so we defeated Count Roderick, and let's get Izrax's ear. So as you can see, that was 60 perk points and 7 tokens, 7 mastery, etc. And let's return back to the world map. So I won't be continuing this video, I just wanted to show you a bit of the Conquest mode, an alternative way of earning tokens. Let's just save this here. And that's all, folks. I hope you enjoyed this run. Conquest is a very fun mode. You can experiment with many tactics. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'll be seeing you next time where we'll be unlocking playing with a new character. Have a good night.